From Corolla One Studios in Glendale, California, and streaming live on YouTube, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, Orny Adams. With Gina Grant on news, Bald Brian on sound effects, and a review of Joker in Hooray for Baldywood. Plus, RJ Bell gives his Week 6 NFL picks, and Dave Damashek is here for good sports. And now, blowing harder than the Yom Kippur shofar. That one was for Gina. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get on your mandate. You get it on, man. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for telling a friend. I'm looking at some interesting data here. We'll get in Joker. Get some IMDb scores for that as well. Good day, Gina Grad.
Good day of atonement to you.
Handball, Brian.
Protect your tings. Special to do on Yom Kippur.
All right. Well, let's see. I have a thought about, let's see. We got our movie review. We got much stuff to get into. First off, a good inspirational story. I got home and I was told that Natalia made the volleyball team.
Mazel tov.
And then I was told to pretend like I didn't know. And then I was told to act surprised when she told me. Let's hope she doesn't listen to the podcast. And first things first, as I always complain about, one more reason to hate my parents, all this stuff is free.
No.
You know what I mean? Like I went, first I was told, congratulate Natalia for making the volleyball team, but then I was at sea. I couldn't really communicate. Right. So then when I got home, I was told, pretend you don't know, and then act surprised. Yes.
I have a question. What is with the pretend don't know instruction?
Oh, that's big in the Grad family.
Here's a way to ensure I don't know. Don't tell me. What? I don't know. What's the strategy? Give me the upside. Give me the plus.
What was that word you used? Strategy?
What's the upside? What's the plus?
There's no strategy to being a mom. Being a mom is you basically doing that game where you're playing softball and you put your head on home plate on the bat, you spin yourself around, and then you shotgun a beer, and then we put you in the teacups ride at Disneyland, and when you're done with that, we ask for a decision. That's the strategy of being a mom.
Seems opposite of what would be optimal.
It doesn't seem like it should even use the word strategy.
No, it seems like the opposite of the word strategy.
There is no strategy, and your job as a dad is to be like a center fielder, just willing to go whatever direction the ball comes off the bat.
That's fair.
So my thing is I'm a better actor than people give me credit for, especially with kids.
I've seen the reviews.
Domestic acting is one of my strongest spots.
In the home.
Acting surprised or elated, things of that nature. So
interested.
Engaged. Engaged.
Compassionate.
See, I went, ooh.
Yeah, see? I bought it, man.
That's chops. I got chops. So I do a lot of that. You know, Olga, how is your sister? Ooh.
Tell me more.
Yeah, do tell. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Go on.
I almost bought it.
So I do a lot of that. So when I was told to act interested or I was told to act surprised, I was able to do it. So I got hold of Natalia when I got back from the trip, and I said, oh, hey, your volleyball, you tried out before I left, but I never found out how that turned out. And she went, you didn't find out? I went, no, not at all. And she said, oh, okay.
I
said, why don't you tell me about it? And she said, okay, I'll tell you about it. So
it's time for Oscar acceptance speech.
Sat down at the dinner table, and she said, now there's like 10 different levels of volleyball teams. Rochambeau is number one. That's the best. Then there's the elite. Yeah, obviously.
Elite's not as good as Rochambeau. It's paper, rock, scissors.
Well, this is part of the problem with telling me stories, because I don't let you get to the end, as you guys know. Because she goes, Rochambeau is number one. Then there's elite. Then there's
best.
Then there's thunder. Then there's lightning, and then there's. And I'm like, wait a minute. Lightning comes before thunder. It should be lightning, then thunder, because you see the lightning, then you
hear
wait.
the thunder.
You wait on the thunder. Why is thunder above lightning? She's like, Dad, can I finish a goddamn story? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just saying, if you're naming volleyball teams, you don't go.
She's like, I didn't.
Lightning and then thunder. Or you don't go thunder then lightning.
Right.
You go the other way around. Anyway, so I sat there, and then when she told me she made one of the, I think she made thunder or lightning, whatever the fourth traveling team is. Oh, by the way, oh joy, we get to go to Reno for 7 days at my expense. But
Live show.
but
It's not a bad idea.
She made the travel squad. She was very proud of herself, and she
Our
felt
live tour schedules have to follow the tally.
All we have to
around
do
the
is look
West
at the
Coast.
school schedule. We'll know where to go.
she felt very good about herself.
Good.
And
That's excellent.
Wait, let's see the reaction.
on this
Reenact
man's
the
face,
reaction.
satisfaction, a proud dad,
Approval.
head nodding,
Yeah, good.
looking good.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, 2 years earlier, I had come home, and I talked to her about this. So 2 years earlier, I had come home. So like 10:30 at night, and Natalia was in the bedroom, and she was crying, and she was upset, and she'd not made the volleyball team, and
With a very good reason.
her coach didn't like her. And
What's taking a liking to her?
I normally would just do the there you go, and then go watch SportsCenter. But I took a moment as I talked about on the podcast. I carved out 20 minutes, and I said, I'm going to fix this. Because she's not going to bed thinking she didn't make the team because the coach
Right.
didn't like her.
You're not going to fix this short term. You're going to fix this long term. Not like, oh, honey, you're right.
Have some ice cream.
Right.
Right, because that's going to ruin her, and it's going to hobble her. She's not going to want to try anymore. Why
What's the point?
would you?
Yeah.
Thus, this is my politician thing when you keep talking about as a woman, there's an African American, there's bisexual, you have a target on your back, or we don't have a level playing field. All that pablum that they're constantly spitting out, I always want them to stop it because you're hurting people. Even if it's true, you should stop it. Because the thing is we have this society that's broken. We don't have a level playing field, blah, 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 blah. Guess who's going to fix it? I'm going to fix it. Except for you never fix it. And then the person who takes your spot in 4 years makes the exact same batch of promises to fix and level that playing field. And then it never gets leveled.
Yep.
And then the next person comes up the batch of promises again. So here's the thing. I don't think it's broken. I don't think the playing field is perfectly level because that's an impossibility. You can't have tall people have an advantage over short people, and rich people who get to go to college and live in safer neighborhoods and eat better diets and things like that. They drive safer cars. They have an advantage. That's the way it works. So it's impossible to be level. The bubble on my level, it's a 4-footer. My bubble's not torpedo level. I want something a little more accurate. The bubble in my world is to one side of the two lines. They give you the two lines. The bubble will sit in the middle. And if it's just about right, there'll be about a 30-second or maybe it's like 30 seconds, a weak eighth of just sort of air, water between the two lines and the bubble. The bubble doesn't take up the whole little space they give you a line on. MaxPad will find a picture. Sorry for the analogy on the fly. But in my world, our society is the bubble's leaning further over to against one line or maybe even a little bit past one line, but it's not off the charts. It's in the, when you build things. So I don't know if you take Russia's bubble or China's bubble or North Korea's bubble. That's not even. It's way onto one side. It's way on one side. So what I'm saying is, like, when I'm building something, like if you're building a deck and you go throw the level on it and you see the bubble that's like it's cheating a little more toward the one line, you go, that's within the realm of acceptable. If it's way off the chart, it's on the other side of the thing, then it's like, we got to jack up this deck, we got to underpin it, we got to blah, blah, blah. Anyway. So I believe the playing field is never level, but it's within the margins, and you can operate within those margins. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I wanted to do with her. I did not want her to think that the coach had it in for her, or no one should think anyone should have anybody in charge should have it in for you.
And did she accept this theory right away? No questions asked?
I'm not good at
talking to daughters.
My seed can find no purchase, as they would say, in terms of discussions with the females in my home.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was embraced surprisingly quickly.
Good for her.
Because she saw the beginning, middle, and end. She saw it's not something where it's like, if you do this, this will happen. It's you did this and that happened.
No, this talking
right?
Well,
it pertains to the volleyball example, right?
Right, but this was the beginning. This is the initial conversation I had with her.
This one is now.
Oh, no.
Oh, now it's easy because she's on the team.
Right.
The initial discussion, I think the reason I was able to be successful is I just pretty much said, how many people tried out? And she went, 20. And I went, how many people made it? And she said, 10. And I said, where were you? Where were you in that number? If you, and this is what you have to do with, sadly, everyone now. You have to paint these little stupid pictures where you go, if you just wandered into the gym and you were sitting up in the bleachers and you didn't know anything, you were just watching these 20 girls work out, where would you put yourself if you just watched yourself randomly in that 20 person gym? And then she said 10, and then my wife chimed in from the bed probably and said, you give yourself 10 out of 10? And then I did this one. Sweetie, in or out of the conversation? You got to be in.
Not helping.
You can't be out. You got to be in or out.
Yeah.
You can't just wander through it.
Yeah.
You can't wander through my sitcom.
We can't pull the car over.
You got to
right
come
now.
in or you got to get out.
Right. Child that
She's
wanted
doing a
to
walk
confuse
on.
you.
So I said to her something, and look, I'm screwing the numbers up, but I said, look, there are 20 people. They took 11 people on the team, and you admittedly had yourself right in the middle, about 10. That's pretty close to not making the cut just already. Do you really think it was him? And also, what's in it for him to not field the strongest team he can put out on the hardwood?
Right.
Don't you think he wants the best players out there? And she's like, yeah, I guess he wants to win. You know, what coach doesn't want to win? And you did have yourself in the middle, so maybe you just missed the middle by a person or two. And she went, okay. And she got it.
Good.
And then she worked harder at it, and now she's very proud of herself for being on the team. That's what I said. Just go ahead and outwork everybody and do it. And even if you think the coach doesn't like you, do it. This brings me to my roofie talk I wanted to have.
Oh, God, I hope these aren't the same story.
This is a long conversation.
No, I gave it a beat. I took a sip off my Postum, and then I rolled into it.
As long as you're here.
So
this drink tastes weird.
This thing that I'm constantly thinking about, which is this notion of everyone thinking people don't like them or they have some predisposed whatever, or I have a target on my back. It is making for a bad society. It's really a tough way to it hurts groups and it hurts individuals. It's a macro thing. And I was thinking, again, my white privilege is knowing I'm white and knowing that every neighbor I've ever had is a horrible person, but not a racist because I'm a white guy. And I was talking about the 65-year-old shrew who lived across the street from me was running out telling Olga to move her car and telling Max Zapata to move the car and putting notes on his car, parked illegally on the street, not blocking anything, waiting for him to come home at night, scrapping with Olga about where she parked her car and stuff like that. I thought, what if we were a black family?
Oh my God!
What would we make of that? Yeah. What other possible box could you check if we were just the Huxtables, and there's just this lily white middle-aged, 60-something-year-old white woman just living across the street,
waiting to pounce,
just hassling for the sake of hassle.
Yeah, it's the first and most easiest box to check.
Okay, and I don't think you could tell them they were wrong. But I'm white, so I happen to know that's not the factor.
Right.
But if I was black, you couldn't talk me out of it.
Yeah, there'd be a tough discussion.
Right. So understand that, everybody who thinks they don't like fill in the blank. Maybe you're Chinese or maybe you're Mexican or something. Everyone lives across the street from these fucking people. There's many of them out there who do this just because. Mm-hmm. Now, my roofie. My roofie.
Your neighbor.
My little roofie.
Oh.
Best stuffed animal ever. I said,
roofie,
pretty roofie, love to comb your hair when you're asleep.
I am white, so I just know the chick across the street's a horrible shrew, just like I knew the other Israeli lady lived across from me when I lived on the Hollywood sign was a shrew, just like I knew the old man who I wish died in the fire. That guy was just an old asshole because I'm white. I have that luxury. If I was black in any of those situations, I would assume they're all horribly racist.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, back to the roofie. Let's get on the roofie. How many women did I talk to when I did 10 years of Loveline who said they were roofied versus, and we'd always talk to them. Like, I think someone roofied me. I think someone put something in my drink. And then we'd go, well, tell me about the night. And they would go, well, we started at noon doing Jell-O shots. And then we switched to Jaeger bombs. And then we went to body Jaeger shots. And then we went to tequila. And at a certain point, I couldn't remember anything. And it's like, right, you got shit-faced. No one ever says, I was at brunch drinking tap water. It was about 11. We were at Olive Garden.
Cautiously.
And boom, all of a sudden the room started spinning.
Yeah.
No. It's I've been drinking all night. Now, I think to myself, as a guy, we've all had those moments, some more than others, but
some more recently
than others, where you woke up the next day and you were like, God, what the hell happened? I don't even remember.
How much did I lose at craps?
Getting back to my cabin or
when.
what I say to that guy or where did I get this black eye or whatever like that. But I'm a dude, so there is no roofie factor. It's being white. There's no racist factor, and being a dude, there's no roofie factor.
You know what my 41-year-old 2019 version of that is? Wake up after a night of drinking, and first thing I do, pick up the phone, shit, what did I tweet last night from bed?
What did I buy on Amazon?
Yeah, no, I checked the Twitter first. Like, the thing I need to delete.
But so there's a luxury. I mean, I think all guys could make the claim that, I was drinking, but I wasn't drinking that much, or I was just drinking wine and beer or whatever. And then at some point, I just completely lost track of the night. And I just remember, I didn't even remember how I got back to my room or whatever. Like, most guys could say that. No guy would ever say they were roofied. So there's a setting that as a white guy and as a guy, you never toy with the idea of racism or roofies. It's off the table.
Right.
And thus, everything comes back to, well, I drank too much, I guess, or my neighbor's a bitch. See what I'm saying? You never really get to claim any outside sources.
Right.
You ever been roofied, Gina?
Not that I'm aware of, but I guess that was a successful roofie.
Corolla Cruise 2020.
All right. So Brian had an odyssey.
Brian wish he was roofied during this.
Brian had an odyssey, and we'll see. You explain your Atlantis odyssey.
So what happened was Christy prepaid for tickets to go to the Atlantis, the hotel.
Renowned.
Yeah, in Grand Bahamas in Nassau.
You've seen all the commercials.
Yeah, with the slide that goes under the sharks, the tube slide, you know what I mean, that goes under the sharks. Very cool. She's been wanting to do it forever. She's like, I'm getting tickets for us, $140 a piece, I think. Yeah. And she's like, we'll spend all day there. It'll be a fun time. And it was going to be on Sunday of our cruise, and the meeting time was 8:30 a.m. And we
meeting time.
Yeah, meeting time to get on the shuttle to take you to the Nassau.
So right outside the ship.
That's
on
right.
the dock. Then.
Now we were recording a podcast at 9:45 a.m. So Christy goes to the front desk with tickets that say very clearly 8:30 a.m. meeting. These tickets are not accepted at at the Atlantis. You have to redeem them on the ship. And she goes to guest services. She's like, "Hey, I bought these. My husband's working. It's later." And the woman goes, "No problem. You can actually just take a water taxi there and just meet him there. Just show the ticket and blah blah." And it says, "But it says right here they're not accepted." Yeah. Don't worry about that. Actually, there's a shuttle leaving at 11:30. If you hurry, you can make it. She goes, "It's not going to work. My husband is still working." Blah blah blah. And so they're like, "No problem. Take that water taxi. Just get there by 12:30, and you'll be fine." Okay, thank you very much, guest services official. You can imagine what happens next. We take the taxi to Atlantis. We show up. Hey, we're here for our day at the water park. Showing the tickets. Nope, sorry, can't get in. We have these 2 tickets. I'm holding 2 tickets in my hand that we paid for, and this says Atlantis Water Park. And he said, "Nope, says right there, cannot admit." We talked to people on the boat. They said that we can just show up. Whole back and forth, talk to multiple people, multiple stops. Christy does not get emotional times like this, as you can imagine. She's on the verge of tears. Like, I have to talk for her at this point. She's very upset. She's been ripped off for $280. And
well, it's to me, it's just the insane waste of. Okay, first things first. Can we size you guys up? Like, you don't look like Pesci and what's his name in Home Alone. You know what I mean? Like, you're not wearing pea coats with collars popped up,
glowing,
smoking.
She's on your shoulders. You're in a trench coat.
You going, "Shut up, let me do the talking." Like, who could look more benign than you two?
Thank you. I appreciate that endorsement.
Well, and it's such a technicality because
banality.
If I remember this story clearly, when I had my lobster bib on when we were all at dinner the other night, part of the reason was you had your tickets, which are their tickets, but you didn't have your wristband that you were supposed to get on the boat.
Yes, you have to check.
Cares?
It's they were such sticklers about the process of how to work. Like, hey, we're trying to grift our way in. I have these 2 tickets in my hand.
They're paid for.
The only thing I can think of is all roads, as I now really explore it, just lead to horrible lawyers. And
well done.
They really do. Everything that's ruined. Like whenever you talk to Drew, is whenever the politicians like talking about medicine, and so it's the insurance company. How about big pharma? They never bring up the fucking lawyers. The lawyers ruin it for everything. The lawyers are the ones that don't let you have kiosks with nurses doing this, that, there. They sue everyone. They ruin everyone. They add 90 cents to the price of every dollar you spend on medical. The lawyers ruin everything, and we're always looking at the other entities, and no one ever, the politicians don't like, they want to talk about the pharmaceuticals and everything else. They never bring up the lawyers. I bet if you'd whacked your back out in one of the big slides and then you didn't have the wristband on, then you could have sued the whatever, but that's probably a lawyer thing. But go ahead.
Okay, so for the people that are getting real excited to tweet me like, "Oh, it said right there on the ticket," I understand. Had we just YOLO'd it and just took it on our own and we got screwed, that'd be on us. However, we were assured by the guest services person, the authority, no problem, just take the water taxi, they'll let you in. That was the linchpin to this whole thing falling apart. Also, it's printed 8:30 a.m. meeting time. However, as per this person, there was an 11:30 shuttle leaving. They had accounted for multiple shuttles leaving
to that place.
Yeah, it wasn't like a one drop dead 8:30 time. There were multiple shuttles that left.
But wait, there's more.
Is there more?
Well,
yes.
Wait a minute. Why the multiple shuttle? If you can't get the wristband because it's too late on the boat, why is there another shuttle going at 11:30?
My best guess, the answer to this and to everything, is that there are multiple people involved in different siloed different aspects of this cruise, and they don't know. One hand doesn't know what the other's doing.
Okay,
that's my guess.
But wait, there was a little more money spent for a little more depression.
So we're on the Atlantis property, and they won't let us into the hotel to do anything because we have these 2 fraudulent tickets, according to them, that we paid for. And so you know what you can do? They took pity on us. You can pay $44 a piece to see the aquarium, to go look at the fish, which we did.
So they're out another $80, and then you go sit on a little bench.
We one of the security guards took mercy on us, and he's like, "You can go look at the pool." And we sat next to the pool.
You can go look at the pool
on lounges.
And according to Christy, he said, I don't mean to be an ass or anything, but you cannot put your feet in this water. Just stay away from the water.
Yeah. I've always said. I've always kind of said that we run our society like some horrible overlords have dominion over us. And, like you're like the security guard would be going, I'd like to let you through, but Zardon,
Yeah. I don't want to get
the
zapped.
terrible is going to disintegrate me with a
Thunder,
laser
lightning,
beam.
Thunder,
But it's not like
thunder.
Yeah, it's not like we run it. We run it.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Like somebody can look at something and go, oh, these guys bought tickets. Yeah, go ahead. Or you know what? Sign this waiver. We got this waiver. You don't have a wristband, but here's a waiver that says you won't sue us. Go ahead.
There were any number
There's so many ways.
customer-friendly solutions.
I've always told people all the time, like, I just never care. Just show up late. I don't care. DMV, sit down. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, but it's so
and those
easy
are
to
people
do.
who broken the law.
I know.
Those were people who had broken the law.
Are you guys with me now? I'm between that and like Mike loses his passport. Well, doesn't lose his passport, but it comes flying out of the trunk, and he can't travel because he doesn't have his passport. So I'm at chip level with everything now. I just want everything to be some sort of identifying chip.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like no more wristbands or where's your other thing or you don't have the right color wristband. Like
at least we know we're there. When it came to getting on and off the cruise ship, I was like, wait, where's the next room? That's it?
Right.
This was the easiest it's ever been. So let's all, like I think Brian, you or someone said, let's all make the LAX experience at least as easy as the cruise ship.
Oh, that wasn't me, but it sounds good.
I had no refund on the money.
They gave us a partial refund after assuring us a full refund. So Christy Parker's offered to help us with the refund. The good news is that it was paid with American Express, and they're very good about disputing charges, especially for things you paid for and did not get.
That's always my favorite. My favorite gear in the lexicon of gear shifts and positions in life is when somebody goes, hey, we're doing an indie film. Could we shoot in your house? And then I go, oh, okay. And they shoot in your house, and then you come back, and it's like, hey, the carpet you rolled up and moved out of the way and never put back? Yeah. Well, it was brand new, and then when I rolled it out, it had a huge rip down the middle of it, and I go, well, we didn't do it. And you go, yeah, I know, but it was a brand new carpet and it was in perfect shape. And then you guys rolled it up. And then would have been nice if you put it back. But anyway, when I put it back, I had this big rip in the middle of it. And I go, yeah, well, it wasn't us. And you go, well, it's kind of ruined now, and it was in good shape when I left the house. And I go, all right, tell you what, I'll pay for half.
Yeah. Well, that shuts you up.
I'm looking at the email.
Baby
Christy
gets his bottle.
Forwarded to Parker. The Royal Caribbean refunded us the strangely arbitrary amount of $92.23. Like, as though it'll appease us for this thing that we did not get.
But see, here's my take. Whether it's my torn carpet or your broken hearts, either they owe you the full amount, or there's an explanation as to why they owe you nothing. This sort of, we didn't do anything wrong, but here's $92. All right, we didn't do anything wrong, I'll pay for half your area rug. It's like, why aren't you kind of admitting you did something wrong now?
Yeah.
It's all, we've already established that a wrongdoing has occurred.
And you went from, I didn't do anything, okay, half.
Yeah.
Like, if you ask me, like, if you say to me, hey, man, you put a ding in my car when when you were backing out of the driveway at work, and I went, I didn't go into work on Tuesday. And you go, well, I need it fixed. I won't go, oh, I'll pay for half.
Yeah, sounds
I
good.
just go, I don't know, check the security footage.
Yeah.
I didn't hit you.
Wasn't
I don't
here.
go right to you, I'll pay for half. That's weird admittance of guilt
It's an
there.
all or nothing
Same.
scenario.
Yeah, so at least that explains why after we had a beautiful lunch with Dr. Drew and Susan over the water and came back to go on the water slides on the boat, I was like, what the hell are Christy and Brian doing on the boat? And
Why
they don't look happy.
Why they're so haggard. We were very upset and tired.
Well, I know you're not going to like this, but it still makes for a good story, I guess.
Yeah, at least you got
We just
content
got
out of it.
6 minutes out of that.
RJ Bell's going to be on in a second. Just last thought on the boat. I was sitting here with Stromer doing Ace on the House earlier. And he's like, hey, man, how was the cruise? I was like, it was good, busy, whatever. And he's like, nothing like relaxing on a cruise, And I said, well,
I would know.
It's different for me because I have obligations on the boat. I have to work and do things and events and things like that. And he's like, yeah, but you're cruising. I go, yeah, I know, but it's weird when you have a lot of obligations on a cruise ship. It even though it's great to cruise, it kind of flies in the face of the cruise. And I said, imagine if there was something called an activities hammock. So on one hand, it's the hammock. On the other hand, there's a bunch of stuff you got to do from
taxes.
the hammock. But you might even like it. No, maybe even like play Parcheesi or throw the Frisbee to your son or daughter or something, but it's still flying in the face of the concept of the hammock.
Resting.
So as much as the meet and greets are fun or the showings are fun or the sing-alongs or the live pods, like they're all fun, but they fly in the face of the gestalt of the cruise, such as the activity hammock. All right, RJ Bell's running a couple minutes late. Let me. You want me to hit a spot, Max Zapata?
Yeah, we could do Bet DSI to tease RJ's picks.
All right, why don't I do that? Bet DSI, great time of the year. Football, add excitement, and make BetDSI.com your betting partner. Use BetDSI's live betting platform. Watch all the events and bet games until the final whistle. New members get a 100% bonus match with the promo code Adam101. That's double your money. Paying winners for 20 years. Top rated, I'll say over 20 years. Top rated on review sites, a user-friendly interface, and mobile site. Fastest payouts in the industry. NFL, NBA, NHL, boxing, politics, reality, TV, esports, everything. It's all at BetDSI. BetDSI.com. Use the promo code Adam101 for a limited time and get a 100% bonus offer. It's only a game if you bet it at BetDSI. All right, we have a Baldywood. RJ's running.
No.
Is he literally a minute off?
Yeah, he emailed me 5 minutes ago saying I'm 5 minutes away from the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Well, we'll filibust.
Can I filibust real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I just received an email. This is breaking news. Remember how I was sort of drumming up support for the charity that I work for Children's Hospital?
Hold on, RJ's on the phone.
Well, I kept putting up these Amazon wish lists, and I'd check it a few days later, and the page would be empty. So I kept thinking I was messing it up. Well, turns out, because I'm not used to making Amazon wish lists, every time I would put up more stuff, people were just buying everything, and it's gone. And it happened again. Parker was a huge contributor. Vinny, huge contributor. So many wonderful people because of this show. And I just got an email saying, no need to push anymore. We got everything we needed thanks to you guys. So thank you so much. This is amazing. I am completely overwhelmed at your generosity.
You're very welcome on behalf of everyone but me.
Thank you. We did it. Thank
Amazing.
you.
Thanks, and thanks, listeners, and thanks, fans, for making that happen. RJ?
Yes. Hi, Adam.
How are you, my brother?
Actually, I'm wondering how much of the winnings from our picks went to the charity.
Oh, that's a good...
I'm wondering, too.
That's a good
portion
point.
of the proceeds.
I mean, I'm not going to take credit, but, you know.
RJ, 7-2 this season. Man, strong. RJ, Max Pata,
hey,
can you pull... What game was I talking about? Was it the Titans game?
The Ravens.
Or was it the Ravens game with the goddamn goalpost again? I think it's time... We just got to raise those things another 10 feet now.
Again?
These guys are kicking over the goalpost again, even though they raised them 8 feet or 10 feet from wherever they were. This is overtime for the win. It is. You see the ball go wide, then you see the ball get sucked back in. It is just literally impossible.
Oy.
It's unknowable. If you got Nostradamus and Moses and the Man on the Mountain together and asked them to watch this kick, they couldn't definitively tell you. First off, RJ Bell, in a world with 1 million camera angles, could we get a better camera angle? Could we get an up-the-skirt camera angle on this one? Because I'm
a Steelers fan. I mean, to me, it clearly went through, unfortunately, wouldn't you say?
Well, first off, RJ, if you use the word clearly on this kick, I'm going to throw myself onto something sharp. Max Mattis, show the kick in slow motion. There is no clearly. It goes wide and then it sucks back, but it's unclear when it went
in a
wide.
world where there's cameras on the hoop in basketball and on the goal and on the net,
on the
in
pylon,
hockey. Yes.
on the pylon in the end zone,
and under home plate.
All right, look at this
like
and
aiming
just
at the batter.
Stop it! I can't tell.
But I'm saying, can they come up at the very least? How about one at the top of the or at the top of the upright?
I know, Brian. Just look at this. I just don't.
Yeah, I feel like it went in, but clearly you can't say clearly.
I don't. It clearly didn't go anywhere. I don't even look at it again. Tell me if you even.
When I saw it starting to go back to the middle, I was like, we're done.
I don't even feel like it went in. I just feel like it's over the. I just feel like it's over the top of the pole, but I don't know how deep your depth perception can't tell because they only have one weird angle.
I trust the old man standing beneath it.
Yeah, he's 33 feet beneath it. And he's looking straight up. He probably got dizzy. And so it happens in the blink of an eye. Like it goes by at 40 miles an hour. What? In a world where everything is reviewable, would you look at this, Brian? It's like, I don't know where it is. In a world where everything's reviewable, how could you possibly review this if you don't have an angle on it, and there's no other angle but the other end, the back of the other end zone?
Leave it to chance.
Well, I mean, I watched Grand Slam tennis, so they have a chip in the ball, and then they know exactly where it hits.
Yep.
Maybe with the balls you kick field goals with, you have a chip in it.
Yeah.
Or
you love chips.
We take the thin wall steel tubing and we go up another 10 feet.
This will never end. We'll keep going 10 feet up and up and up.
Pittsburgh plus 3.5. I wasn't so sad when it went through.
Oh, I see. But clearly it's in. But he drilled it right down the middle. No, I'll tell you why. Because I think at a certain point, well, first off, you're going to, it's like moving, well, I would say this. At a certain point, it doesn't make sense from an angle standpoint. If you go up another 25 feet, you wouldn't kick it at that angle. You know what I mean?
It's unlikely.
So I would say it wouldn't behoove you to kick it at that angle. These guys always have a little more leg than they had 5 years earlier, but you got to go up because I can't tell if that ball's in or out. And somebody lost the game, meaning the Steelers. Sorry. Anyway.
You know, I'm going to make a prediction, Adam. I know nothing about this, but I know you a little bit. I think when you were a kid and you kicked, you were thinking you were Ray Guy on punts and Tom Dempsey on field goals.
I was always a bad kicker, and even though my life was football, I never owned a football.
Problem.
So I didn't get a lot of kicking in. And then also, as a young dude, I had positions that I deemed cool, like safety and flanker, and the ones I deemed nerd positions, like kicker. So I never had any interest in that, although I became a long snapper. So I don't know what that says about me.
I would have thought you were down at the Sandlot playing 3-on-3 a lot.
I was with someone else's football. That was
but then you had to kick there, right?
No,
I think you're trying to act too cool here, to be honest.
No, we did I think we did that thing where you run up, touch the ball to the ground for some no reason, and then throw. The kickoff was a thrown kickoff that you touched to the ground. Unclear why you had to touch the ground. Yeah, there were two things that probably could have been settled in like the 3-on-3 football. One is the center who stood next to the ball and centered it with a sidearm versus through the legs. Right. Probably could have just figure it out with the legs. And the other one was you should kick off the kickoff or punt the kickoff. But if in fact you're going to throw it, you don't have to touch it to the ground before you chuck it. That seemed like our move. I don't know if you guys did that one too. It's like run a little bit, lean down, touch it to the ground, then get up and
we didn't have the ground touch.
Didn't have the ground touch.
No.
Now, with us in Ohio, I grew up about an hour from Pittsburgh, but in Ohio, we played a game no one else seems to have played. It was called quarterback. So there'd be three of us, and two would be receivers and defenders, and then one guy would be the steady QB.
Oh, yeah.
Was that common?
No. I
grew up playing that game.
You would do that if you had one. Here's when you do that. You do that if you had like one guy who was 2 years older and was a good quarterback.
Yeah, he was all-time QB.
Yeah, and you just go, you be all-time QB. You'd also do it if somebody had like a bad ankle or something, and you'd go, all right, well, you can't run and cover whatever you're jacked up or you got your braces tightened or something. So you just be all-time QB. So there's a little bit of that.
The fact that I was quarterback a lot either means I was very unathletic or a very good quarterback, one or the other.
Both.
I'd like to believe a very good quarterback.
You also do that if you only have two friends.
Yeah, if you only have two friends, right. All right, let's get to the picks, RJ. We'll play the intro here for you.
It's time for RJ's Parlay, presented by BetDSI, with Vegas insider RJ Bell.
Okay, 7-2, as Adam said. Pick number 1. We're going with the Jacksonville Jags. So they have a quarterback that unexpected performance being quite good. Minshew's his name, but he has a mustache. Have you seen this guy?
Sure.
From Washington State, Adam?
Yep.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of attention. And he actually played, even though, obviously not playing perfectly, but exceeding expectations. On the other hand, you got the Saints, who have been shocking in their wins with Bridgewater, the backup. Drew Brees got hurt in the Rams game. A lot of the fans will recall. So Jacksonville's at home laying 1 point. I think Bridgewater is way overrated. I think the Saints are tired from some tough games. I think Jacksonville needs to win this thing, and they've got enthusiasm behind Minshew. So pick number 1, Jags at home, favored by just 1 point.
Wow. Saints are 4-1 and playing much better than a lot of people think. That's an unexpected bet. But I'm all ears. What's our next one?
Yeah, and last thing on the Saints, even with Breeze out right now, they are the favorites to make the Super Bowl in the NFC. So
really?
Right now, the record's good, but without their quarterback, this is so rare, they are really being highly regarded. Pick number 2, going against the Rams, 49ers, come to L.A.
Love it.
Line's 3.5. We're going to take the 3.5. And this is simple. I think Goff is in fairly big trouble. Obviously, the running back, the running game in general with Gurley, not near as good as it was in recent years. The O-line, not near as good. The defense, not near as good for the Rams. On the other side, the 49ers, they had a nice win on Monday night. People are looking at it more anti-Cleveland. There's an advanced analytics site, Football Outsiders. They actually have the 49ers as the 6th best team of the last 30 years after 4 games. So this team is much better, at least with advanced analytics, the 49ers, than people think. We're getting more than a field goal, so it's 49ers plus 3.5.
Yeah, as a Rams fan, I worry. On the other hand, we do a weird thing as human beings. So I was talking about a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, oh, this guy Jones is playing lights-out ball quarterback for the Giants. It's like, yeah, because the Buccaneers guy missed a 31-yarder at the end of the game, so he's playing lights-out ball.
Could be a different story.
And it's like, oh, Seattle, man, they're the belle of the ball. They may be the best in the league. Yeah, because the Rams guy missed an easy field goal by 6 inches, and goddamn Clay Matthews got called for roughing the passer, called helmet to helmet or whatever. And it's like literally the guy was scrambling outside the pocket. He put his shoulder on his shoulder. Why change the game at that point of the game? Why give them 15 yards and a first down at that point? But it's like Rams are in trouble. Seattle's playing lights out. Yeah, except for
1 or 2 plays.
A really shitty call and a guy doesn't miss. Yep. So how much lights out versus falling apart are we talking about? They should have picked up the flag with Clay Matthews. I don't know why. Did they review it? Can you review it? Sorry.
Last comment from me is, let's give credit to your buddy Bill Simmons. He hasn't talked about this for years, but it always stuck with me. He said every time a team in the NFL clearly wins the game, let's say more than a touchdown, you give them a win. If you clearly lose, give them a loss. But anything otherwise, one-score games, you give a half a win to each team. And if you look at the schedules that way, it kind of removes the randomness that you're talking about at the end of games, and you see the games they clearly win or lose. That's very telling because you're right. A lot of these games are coin flips, and the teams that get lucky on the coin flips are way overrated oftentimes.
Well, again, it'd be tough to give the Giants a full W when the Bucs miss a chip shot at the end of the game, and then they beat the Rams in the Coliseum, So it's like you'd be weird to go, oh, that team sucks and that team's great. It was a happenstance, but that's a good way to do. That's a good way to think of it, RJ and Bill Simmons. All right, RJ, we'll write them down. And again, 7-2. Do you have an outro, by the way, for RJ?
RJ's Parlay, presented by BetDSI.
And check out RJ's website, pregame.com. Thanks for the help, RJ.
Hey, my pleasure, guys. Have a good week.
Thank you, my brother. All right, let's see. Orny Adams is here, stand-up comedian. I saw him at the Comedy Store not too long ago. We got the Joker, Baldywood. Should we bring Orny in and do it with Orny?
We should ask him if we've seen it.
Let me check.
Ask him what he thinks. But I'll tell you what. Let's... I think we should take a break and... Let me hit casserole, and then we'll come back and we'll do Baldywood, and we'll just bring Orny to sit in on it. Everyone's got the to-do list. How about you save hundreds of dollars on your car insurance? You don't have to go anywhere. Just go to geico.com. 15 minutes could be saving 15% or more on your auto insurance. Take that extra money, put it in your pocket. Get yourself a ticket to Atlantis, man. Have the time of your life. Just go to Geico.
They'll let you in.
Leave when you leave and come home when you come home. They blow like the wind. At geico.com. Geico.com. All right. Take a quick break. Do Baldywood right after this.
All right, Brian, if we're staying, I guess we're not. Okay. We'll just bump in with Baldywood, though.
For Baldywood, he will tell you if a movie's good. Brian will review the flicks that he's seen up on the big screen or in his Netflix queue. Before you spend bucks, remember his taste sucks. He loved that train wreck piece of shit Transformers 2. Hooray for Baldywood!
All right, Baldywood is doing Joker. Orny Adams is in studio. Orny has not seen the Joker, but he's decided he's hated it. Baldy is going to do it, and then we'll just get into Orny and stand-up and many of those things. So we're a little behind. So, Baldy, why don't you just get in on on the Joker?
Joker
Is
in theaters now. It is directed by Todd Phillips, known best as a comedy director of The Hangover, director of Old School, Road Trip. We all know his movies. This stars Joaquin Phoenix as the titular Joker. Robert De Niro and Zazie Betts also round out the cast. Has anyone under this roof seen Joker? Has anyone?
Just you.
All right, well, number one movie.
Made $90 million this first week.
Not from any of us.
I think people are afraid to go to the theater.
That's right, because there were security. Yeah, with the shootings and everything. Thankfully, I don't think there were any incidents.
No. They thwarted one, but go ahead.
What?
I just read the headline.
Really?
I'll give it to you during the news. Yeah.
Shit. This is the story of a man named Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix. A Fleck, like Affleck. People pointed that out. That's kind of funny. Who plays Batman in the other movies. Arthur Fleck is a sort of sad sack, right? He lives with his mom in Gotham City. He works as a party clown, although we actually never see him performing at an actual party. Like we see him like twirling a going out of business sign, right? And we see him at a kid's cancer ward. Like it's like the writers are like, where are the most depressing places you've ever seen a clown? And then they put it in there. As you can probably tell, this is not a fun movie.
No.
Ironically, not a lot of laughs in a movie about a Joker. Ultimately, it's sort of the portrait. He's afflicted by a condition where he laughs uncontrollably, and he carries around this laminated card, right, that he hands to people because it's obviously an awkward situation.
Like Tourette's.
It's a very Tourette's-y thing. He's on the bus and he'll burst out and laughing.
This movie takes a lot of explanation.
Yeah. It's the Joker. It's sort of the portrait of a mentally ill man whose society has failed. The budget cuts, he can no longer go to therapy, or can't get his meds. He goes off his meds, he obtains a gun illegally. It's kind of a political film, I guess, in a weird way. There's a lot of that running through this. You've all heard the tremendous performance. It's worthy of an Oscar nomination. It's really, really excellent by Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck, the Joker. 69% of Rotten Tomatoes, I should point out.
I'm shocked. I heard that. I mean, I would imagine it have been higher.
That translates to about a 3.5.
From what I'm hearing.
Translates to about a 3.5 out of 5, which to me is perfect. This is about a 3.5 star movie out of 5. Unfortunately, now fairly or unfairly, this is going to get compared, especially the performance, to The Dark Knight, right? The Heath Ledger, the legendary performance that won the Oscar posthumously, turned The Dark Knight into one of the top grossing films of all time. I think it's in the top 10 of all time. Is that fair or unfair? I went into this all the whole time. I'm like, this is a pretty good movie. It's really no Dark Knight, but it's a pretty good movie.
Well, we always talk about sort of Quentin Tarantino getting compared to Quentin Tarantino and Scorsese getting compared to Scorsese. Right. In a way, it's inevitable, but it is unfair. It should all be judged in a bubble, but we can't judge anything in a bubble because we know too much going in. But this is also one of those movies where I'm not into a movie so much where they go, the performance was amazing. The movie was okay. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a great movie and not so many standout performances. But is that what happened here?
This is a good movie. Like I said, 3.5 stars out of 5. It's not bad. There's no glaring weaknesses. Everything is solid to above average in this movie.
I've heard some rants and stuff on Facebook that this is in a way, I don't know if cautionary tale is the right way to say it, but you should see it because it puts you in the mind of somebody who goes so insane that they start hurting other people.
Yeah, this is someone who clearly needs to be supported by the system somehow. There's a review.
What should Gotham City have done differently to prevent this guy?
Probably funded,
Should we have laughed more at the clown at the cancer ward?
He fell through
Is this
the
what it's
cracks
come
of
to?
Gotham.
Fell through the cracks.
I mean, Gotham wasn't. Nobody in Gotham is upstanding, right? Isn't this?
They're seedy characters.
It seems fairly crime-ridden, and they don't seem to be able to do anything about it.
They're anytime people and criminals.
You flash the bat signal.
Yeah. Also, it isn't, by the way, relying, if you're a city and you rely on a superhero, isn't that like your police force being cuckolded?
Oh, that's completely what's happening.
We can't do our job, but we'll just put this signal up and the rich guy will swing in and mop up for us.
This is a perfect opportunity.
We could use some of that in L.A., by the way.
Arnie, have you seen The Dark Knight?
No, but I hate it.
No, the Dark Knight.
Oh, they hated that one too? I didn't see it and I hate it. But I'm at the age where I don't have to see a movie to know I hate it. I can just see
that's fair.
the preview.
Yeah, that's
Carte blanche.
Yeah.
I do that with cultures, but I don't do it with movies because I have some dignity.
No, but are you accusing me of not having dignity? Mr. Carolla?
Evidently. So,
If you Adam Carolla has not seen The Dark Knight, or not seen The Dark Knight, if you see this movie before you see The Dark Knight, I will literally hire a drifter to kill you. That is unacceptable. Dark Knight's a goddamn work of art.
Wait a minute. According to you, I should see this movie first, not to be let down.
Yeah, so be disappointed.
So that would be there would be a method to my lethargy madness.
But would it undercut your appreciation, assuming you someday see The Dark Knight?
No, I think according to your logic, I see this movie and I enjoy it, and then I go see The Dark Knight and I'm blown away.
Yeah, and seeing the Joker's origin story, it would make it even that much more interesting seeing The Dark Knight.
Okay, well, let me put it to you this way. I had this thought several times during the movie, and this is how I feel about it. It's like we were talking about Taron Egerton in Rocket Man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like someone doing a competent cover version of your favorite song, and you're like, yeah, it's good. Makes you want to listen to the original. It's not as good. We all know that, like, the kids who grew up only knowing the cover version, you know what I mean? Only knowing the Britney Spears version or whatever, whatever version it is. Like, no, go back and listen to the original.
I mean,
But they can't
Tiffany's, I
appreciate
think,
it.
We're Alone Now is amazing.
But they can't appreciate the original.
Right.
That's what I'm afraid of.
All right, outro.
Okay, well, I guess I'm done.
We got.
Hooray for Bollywood!
I feel like we've covered it.
Aren't we going to review that movie about that woman who sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow? Are we going to?
Oh, yeah, Renee Zellweger plays Judy Garland.
Yeah.
Here, she's amazing.
Yeah.
And in the movie,
That has incited a lot of
Oscar buzz.
violence, too.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I have some thoughts on that.
Hooray for Bollywood!
Orny, I saw backstage at the Comedy Store about 3 weeks ago, I think. Talked about his property and having his streamliner. He has a trailer up on the property, right?
Yeah,
Putting
you'd be
a
proud of me.
studio in there.
I bought my. I'm turning it into a studio. Mm-hmm. I know that's the way I feel too.
Laugh Factory coming up Saturday out here in Hollywood. Then off to the Addison, Texas Improv. That's the October 18th through the 20th. And New York Gotham
Oh,
Comedy
rears its
Club.
head
Love
again.
it.
That signal.
October 25th to
Yeah.
26th. Geez, you've been doing stand-up for
And Sarasota. Don't forget about Sarasota.
Oh, I didn't
You
see
got a ton
that
of
on that.
Florida. You got a McCurdy's. It's a good one.
How's for someone, you've been doing it for 25 years. You came up in Boston with Dane Cook and Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neill. Mentored by Gary Shandling, of course, in the movie with Seinfeld, comedian from 2002. Where's the state of stand-up now?
I can't even explain it. It's really bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I mean,
Have you
it's, yeah,
experienced it?
I'm living it.
Is it where,
It's really
if
bad.
we were to kind of, here's what I always say to people. I go, look, it can't always, it's like the economy. It can't all be salad days. There's going to be some dips and some whatevers. And I like boxing. So I go, everyone looks at the early 70s to mid 70s with heavyweights, with Ali Ali and Frazier and all that kind of stuff at Foreman. Those are the salad days. And then you get into the late 70s, early 80s. You go middleweights. You go Sugar Ray Leonard and Hands of Stone, and then you go Duran and then Hagler and all that kind of stuff. You go, Hearns. You go, that was a sweet spot. Where would comedy be in now compared to like with that kind of analogy? I mean, you don't need to bring up boxers' names, but I just mean like you've been doing it for 25 years.
Longer than that.
Longer than 25
But I mean,
years.
I'll put it this way. When I was in Boston and I was doing it with those guys back in the 90s, we didn't think about getting on TV or getting a TV show or where is this going to go. We were doing it because that's what we thought we were supposed to be doing.
Right.
And it just felt like there was a pureness to it. And it was beautiful because of that. And we were all sort of being ourselves. Dane sounded a certain way, Bill, Patrice, all these guys, Gary Goldman, who's having a moment right now.
Oh, yeah, big time.
We didn't sound like each other. I hear a lot of people sounding like each other.
Oh, is that what you're hearing?
What are you hearing? You're there.
It is weird.
I mean,
it's so weird because I was standing backstage at the Comedy Store, and Orny was up before me, and he was finishing his set, and he was doing this bit on the tack light, flashlight, like the indestructible flashlight. And I was like, oh, I have a bit on the tack light individual super flashlight. It's marginally different than yours, but not that different. And I thought, this must be a thing when comedians stay up late and watch infomercials. We all must have the same the same thoughts.
Yeah.
And then and I also said, this is why I never accuse anyone of ripping off my material, or I never go, that guy ripped off my material, because I am listening to your bit on the indestructible flashlight, and I'm thinking, I have one of those bits. That I was either going to not do it all or do at the beginning.
You should have done it at the beginning. Just come out and do your version of it.
But I was like, that's why I could never think of anyone stealing.
These comedy nerds, and we love you. Thank you for being out there. Thank you for loving comedy. But you're not doing comedy. You don't understand. You'll never understand comedy at the level of somebody who does it every single night and is a comic. Even they all say this, like, Burr's special comes out and they go, Burr took this joke from so-and-so or so. If you think we're watching each other, we're not. Like, it's just, you got lucky that you heard me because you were backstage. But if we had been at another club or another venue, you wouldn't have heard it. And you're not going to sit there and watch me. You're not going to watch my specials. You're going to watch when I'm on TV. We just don't, you get to a certain point and you stop watching other comedians. So anytime I hear that, I go, we're not watching each other. That would mean we weren't egocentric, and we wouldn't be on stage if we
if you were into watching.
If we were into watching other people.
Supporting others.
Yeah.
I know you don't like the Seinfeld doc, or you don't like how you're portrayed, or you feel
just
like
sick of talking about it. It was 2002. I mean, like talking about the Man Show.
Ooh, I love talking about the Man Show.
Well, let's talk about that.
We call it Man Show.
Yeah, I had not seen the special until recently, but I did watch it, and Orny comes across as wildly ambitious, I guess is how I would describe it. Do you still have that motor? Do you still have that ambition? Do you still have those feelings?
No. I mean, as you get older, I mean, I've been so beaten down by this business. I mean, how many times can I try? Like, isn't it pathetic I'm even going to try a podcast? I mean, it is pathetic. In fact, this might be my third one. I can't remember. In fact, I might be calling it what I've already called another podcast. I don't remember. But there's a sadness to you just keep trying. I don't know what caused. Like, I have so many friends, and I'm like, why are they still trying? It's over. And people like you must look at me and go, oh, this guy's going to turn the Shasta trailer into a podcast. Good luck. You're about 8 years too late on this, buddy.
Well, wait a minute. I mean,
That's what you told me backstage at the Comedy Store. You said, first of all, I do a tactical flashlight. It's better than that. I was on the Man Show, and don't bother doing a podcast.
It's really harsh, Adam.
We let Mark Maron in, but that's it. We're not going to let you in.
Let's break this down, because
why don't you today say you're going to support my podcast the way that Joe Rogan supports other people?
I'm going to support your podcast, Orny, and I'd love to be a guest on it as well. I kind of know where your house is from discussions backstage
and Google Maps.
And I will say this notion of sort of telling guys, hey, comedians especially, like, hey, it's not going to happen. You think about Sebastian, and you think about guys like Bill Burr and stuff like that, or Joe Coy comes in here. There's so many guys who in the last 5 years I've met where I literally didn't really know who they were when I met them, and it's not because they were 23. They were 40. And I hadn't really heard of them. And somehow at age 46, they blew up. Like something happened. And now they're playing Radio City, whatever. I mean, these are just a few names that come to mind. But these are middle-aged men who are stand-ups. I'm not on the stand-up scene, so it's like I don't know everybody in stand-up, but I'm around comedy and show business, and I didn't know that guy 3 years ago, and now this guy's selling out Madison Square Garden. So the notion of like, hey, the ship has sailed, or you're too old, or it's not going to would have happened by now, I don't know. Tell all those guys, or the next one.
Yeah, but
middle-aged guy.
For each one of those guys, there's hundreds, if not thousands.
No, so it's like the lottery. It's the lottery. But as long as you have somebody who wins the lottery once a week, it's enough to keep everyone buying the tickets.
Right. Not me. Those guys are idiots.
Lottery,
full tax.
No.
But you're buying the comedy ticket is what.
I'm
comedy scratcher.
I do very well. So
Yes.
I can't complain, and I've done well, and I work every week, and I have a very good private show business going. Like I'll do for corporations.
Sure.
So I can't complain in that sense. But am I satisfied? No. Am I fulfilled? No. Am I, looking at the ticket counts every day? And
why aren't you? Why? I mean, obviously, you have made a living doing nothing but stand up for how many years?
I've never had another job.
All right, never had another job. So you're already getting into this rarefied elite strata of Americans.
Yeah.
So I always say this, and I had a dear friend, and he died some years ago, 6-7 years ago. And he was, his name was Philip, and he was a juggler. So he was open for Andy Williams and the Gatlin brothers and stuff like that. He ended up in Branson, whatever. And he would always express to me, I think at the time I was doing the Man Show, maybe I was on Loveline on MTV.
There it is again.
Something like that.
Never stops.
Never stopped dropping it.
It's his comedian.
He passed December 2012. Philip was a very kind guy and a very talented juggler comedian. He was kind of expressed to me that he was envious because he didn't make it. I made it. I was on Comedy Central. He didn't make it. And I said, Philip, you've never had a job. You work cruise ships. You go on cruises that are 8 days. You work 2 days. You bang 3 random chicks. And you
The
get paid.
jugglers
You get
banging
paid.
chicks?
I was a celebrity on that cruise.
Really?
Very talented.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
What he could do with that pinball.
Good-looking guy. And you open for Andy Williams.
I can juggle 4 pins, but
tour the
I gotta come
country.
back to my cabin.
You get paid. You never really had a job.
Yeah.
Look at it. How can you complain? You've never worked. Really, essentially.
I can complain.
Go ahead.
I'm really good at it. That's
God, mano a mano.
Oh,
here.
listen, I can complain as well, but you have to step back a little bit and go, Jesus Christ, been 25 years of getting paid for not doing what you would call traditional work.
Okay, I just want it a little bit easier. That's all. I just want to sell tickets easier. I'd like to get into better venues. I mean, to me, there's a sadness to where I am in my career. I think if I was in my early 30s looking at me, I go, oh, look at that. That is so pathetic. That's the guy who was a comedian. That guy did The Tonight Show, did Letterman, Coney's done everything. He was on a TV show for 6 years, did 100 episodes of Teen Wolf, and he's it's not even sold out the second show. I mean, it's a sadness.
Yeah,
But all
get
those,
it.
all those things you mentioned, that's the definition of success. You've supported
and my
yourself
act doesn't
for-
suck. Let me interrupt you. My act doesn't suck. I'm big. You saw my Showtime special. Okay, so I've had a Showtime special. I had a special that was on Comedy Central, on Netflix. I've been getting every opportunity.
I just saw him
You know
in
what? I'm
person.
retiring right now. No, I've just convinced myself.
Wow.
I'm pathetic and I'm out. This is it.
Hanging it up.
Yeah. Come watch my I'm Pathetic podcast.
Farewell tour.
Yeah. I've got 400 downloads. Whatever. Listen, I'm going to have to start tracking that. So that will be the next level of disappointment. So it's like Adam. Adam's, you're miserable. You'll all be happy if I get married. It doesn't make me, I'm happy for 6 months, but maybe if we have kids, then we'll continue that. It's like that. So now I'm going to convince myself the next phase is a podcast when I've already tried it twice. I was probably podcasting before you were podcasting. It's over. Well, how do I disconnect the headphones? Just
Doors that
pathetic.
Take that.
Yeah, so that's how I can complain. But sorry.
Yeah, no, I get it. And
There's something so beautifully refreshing about what just happened.
yes.
I mean, usually you don't want to talk about those things, those are vulnerabilities of people. You put that wall up and you go, no, but I'm fine. And you tell, but this is really kind of a beautiful thing.
And guess what? Those people are selling out Madison Square Garden because they're going, hey, I was in Detroit last week and every show was sold out. You got to get your tickets ahead of time. I'm here to tell you, second show wasn't sold out.
Yeah.
First show was maybe the most amazing show, Saturday night, Mark Ridley's comedy. I said it on stage. I have the audio. I'm going to pull it and put it on my new podcast. I'm very excited about everybody in my podcast. I've got 400 listeners. So I was going, this is why I do comedy. This is why I do comedy. It should be like this ever. The next show couldn't have been the worst, maybe one of the worst shows I've had in years.
Yeah,
Right,
well,
an hour apart.
There's always that thing where you don't know where you're going or exactly how it works, but you'll say at some point, like 2 weeks out, you'll go, how big's the club in Salt Lake City? And they'll go, it holds 361 people. And you go, how many tickets we sold for the early show Friday? 41.
Yeah.
And you go, oh. And then you go, what about the late show? A little less. I don't know. I got to check. And then you go, what? Oh.
But you don't have that problem because you're on the Man Show.
No, I do. I have the same thing. I have like, oh, we've sold a few for the early show, but not. Still got a lot to go on the late show. You know, got to call into the radio station on the way to the airport. Like I have the exact same thing.
I mean, I'm hiking yesterday. I'm having a good time. I thought, I haven't even started promoting my shows for next week in Addison, Texas. So I start shooting a video, and then I thought, I've got December. I'm at the casino in Connecticut. I better shoot a video, and it's like, right. All I do is promote. So that's where it's changed. When I started doing comedy in Boston, it was like the Lenny Clarks and people like that, the Sweeney, Gavin. These were the huge comics. They hosted every night, and it was packed. Right. Not only have I never had a real job, I've never done an open mic.
Oh, really?
I've never done a bringer show. I didn't audition for shows.
How did you avoid an open mic or a bringer show where you bring the audience?
Because we didn't, back then, you didn't have to bring an audience.
Right.
I'm telling you,
these comedy clubs used to promote comedians.
How did you avoid an open mic?
I just walked in, I signed up, and I went in and did a show on a Wednesday night or something in Boston. I have no clue. And people liked me, and my act. You've seen my act. It's. I don't sound like most people,
right?
I maybe I stood out, and I never, even in New York, I started working every club immediately. I was flown out here by Disney, ABC for a deal. People in New York wanted to see me, and so I moved from Boston to New York City, and I was doing 22 shows in a weekend from Thursday to Sunday. I'd write a joke on Thursday, and I'd hate it by Sunday.
Literally 22 shows on the weekend.
I have my old ledgers. I have all my dates, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those clubs used to work with me. The Comedy Cellar would move a spot so I could do a spot there and then go to Gotham and then go to stand-up and then to the comic strip and then back. I mean, it would go in a loop. You'd beg people for rides. You knew when you couldn't take the subway, you had to take the subway because the theater was getting out. I've been doing this forever. And the second show's still not sold out.
How were you as a student? Like, how were you as a young person? Where you couldn't sit still in class, or a student? Like, I'm looking at you and I'm making both arguments in my head. As a student, I'm the exact way I am as a comedian. I never played by the rules, which is part of the problem. And there was an arrogance, which is a huge part of the problem. Mm-hmm. And I didn't make friends, which is a huge part of the problem. But I got A's, and the teachers hated giving me A's because I broke all the rules. But you can't argue with math. 2 + 2 is always 4. And I answered every question right. So they had to give me an A, but they hated me at the same time, which is what's going on in comedy too. They hate me, but you can't deny what I'm doing on stage. You've seen it. It's a great show. And
tell me anybody who has a better flashlight bit than me.
I could only hope to tie the tack light bit. And no, I brought a friend that night. Matt DeAndrea came out, and I don't know, 6 comedians went up or something. And when we were eating dinner later, he said, you were good, and Orny was good, and the rest were like a little. It was a little bit of that. I can't remember the names. I wouldn't say them anyway, but he was. I got the feedback from him.
That's why I love doing shows. Tomorrow night I'm at the Laugh Factory. I'll be at the Comedy Store and Improv all weekend in Laugh Factory. I love it because it's not on me to sell tickets. Right. There's only a few people in town that really sell tickets. I'll sell a few, but then I don't have to worry about it. I do 20 minutes and I have a blast. And I get to see how I am measured up against other comedians.
And measured up against an audience who I always say is the sort of county fair audience versus I'm coming to see the police or whatever it is. It's obviously easy if people are there to see you. If they're just there to see comedy and you fill in the blank, then you'd have to be better than those around you. Otherwise, you're going to stand out.
And I have to be better because I don't have the name that these other people have. So here's another way comedy has changed. When I started in Boston and when I went in New York, now I could be wrong because, I maybe I was naive, but I believe the clubs were putting on the best comedians that were available at that time. And those shows were amazing. When you're in New York, you got to be good because those comics, they're good. And somehow you come out here and it's about celebrities. What's a name? Who's been on what show? And maybe they're not necessarily that funny. And so to me, when I do, there's one club in particular out here, I won't say which one, where it seems like it's very celebrity, let's sell the tickets, right? And I'm on that show. And I feel like, and they usually, they ask me to go on last a lot. And it's like, you guys ready for your final comedian? It's always like, it's going to be this person, like big names, that who's ever hot on Netflix or their special
But
right now.
you're headlining essentially because you're going to bring it and the name you recognize. So
no, but I'm not the name, but I'm saying the audience.
No, you're not. No.
The audience is like, whoa, this is the last guy? Why wasn't that guy the last guy?
Right, but you're the last guy.
Am I losing my mind, or is there fake applause now? Am I being mocked?
I don't hear anything.
No, let me break this down, and we'll make sure we're on the same page. There's a lot of comedians who aren't really stand-up comedians. They're personalities, let's say, that you know from sitcoms or from other places. Podcasts and things of that nature.
Maybe they're hosting a charity event.
And they've decided to do stand-up. And that's fine, but it's like a celebrity boxing match getting in with a seasoned boxer. You know what I mean? And the deal is you don't want Orny to go up before you if you're Michael Richards. And you're going to get up there and try your hand at stand-up.
What a safe example.
You don't want an Orny Adams in front of you because then you're going to get up and there's going to be a difference.
Yeah.
A big difference.
Palpable.
You want him at the end where he's safe.
But the audience is like, oh, this is the last guy? Like, I have to battle with, I don't have necessarily the name recognition. And that's a struggle. And then when you last, you're dealing with the checks.
Right.
It's
the checks coming to the table.
Yeah.
A lot of chit-chat.
You know what else you're dealing with, which can be tough, I've noticed at the Comedy Store throughout the summer? It starts getting hot in that room. And you see people kind of leaning back like black women at church, just kind of fanning themselves with the menu. And it's like, you can feel when people get tired, they start to wilt, like they start to just
and kind of move a little.
Sort of like anyone who's done Letterman knows he keeps it like an icebox in there for a reason, kind of keeps people sit up. You go out there at the end of the night, and there's 350 people in the room, but the air conditioning can't keep up, and it's middle August. People are leaning back, like fanning themselves.
Yeah, and that's when I'm on stage yelling, how many more tickets do we have to sell before we put on the air conditioning? Have we made you enough money?
Yes.
Go ahead. I'd like to tell my Buddy Guy story.
Go ahead.
Because I think this sort of is an example of how I feel. Buddy Guy is, for your listeners that don't know, considered one of the greatest guitarists of all time. What's his name? Purple Haze.
Jimi Hendrix.
Thank you. I blanked on it.
That's
Jimi
right.
Hendrix started playing behind his back because of him. Eric Clapton says he's the greatest living guitarist of all time. Now, do you think any comedian would ever say about another comedian, he's the greatest living comedian of all time? We don't give it up. But that's not the story.
Pick dead comedians.
Right. Or Michael Richards as an example.
Well, this is why I can't wait to die. I want some recognition.
So I'm in New Orleans. This is pre-Katrina, and I'm at the Jazz Festival. Somebody thought, let's have a comedian in town during the New Orleans Jazz Festival playing at the whatever club it was.
Right.
Well, thank you. Right. Less people in the audience that weekend.
There was an echo.
Yeah. So they said, listen, we're not even going to have a show tonight, so why don't you, here's 2 free tickets to go to the Jazz Festival. It's like, oh, great. So I go by myself, and I've always wanted to see Buddy Guy. Keith Richards, everybody says this is the guy that changed their perspective on how to play guitar. And there's Buddy. He's not at the big tent. He's not at the medium tent. He's like, a few hundred people tent.
Right.
And I'm watching this guy play Sweet Home Chicago, and I've never seen hands move up and down, that guitar. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And he's having a moment. He is having a moment. He is connected, and we're all there. And he gets cocky. This is something that I would do. Now, he goes, they're telling Buddy Guy he's got to wrap it up. Right. Nobody tells Buddy Guy to wrap it up.
Right.
Where he starts playing like a riff. A guy walks out on stage, taps him on the shoulder, whispers in his ear, and Buddy goes, good night, and walked off the stage. And you know, Buddy's thinking, they wouldn't do that to the Rolling Stones.
Right.
They wouldn't do that to Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
And I influence those people. And look at me, I'm on the small stage. And it's like he never connected commercially. And I think, you know, as an artist, I feel something with him. I'm certainly not at the level he is in my profession, but, you know, I feel like I haven't connected, and I feel that humility all the time. I feel like I'm being tapped on the shoulder every week.
What do you think that certain je ne sais quoi is? What is that thing? It's not. Now, there's certain comedians where you go, there's certain comedians, I guess you'd have to think of these guys like Wright or
Stephen Wright,
Hedberg, or
Mitch Hedberg or someone like that.
Mitch Hedberg, where you go, okay, that's just a style, and they're just sort of telling these jokes. Many other people, it seems to be something else, and it's also kind of a like fashion, like music, like when you hear music from the 90s or you see a Spuds McKenzie commercial, you go like,
Timeless.
I guess we're just in to Dayglow tank tops or something. I don't know what we were doing. And there's a version of it like Pauly Shore going, hey, Weezer. You know, it's like, all right, he had the right hair or something. But deeper than that, because if you take a look at the pure material, the material could kind of go either way. Like you could make an argument for the difference between this guy who was selling out in Madison Square Garden or this guy who was going in the Buddy Guy tent. Is there a thing as human beings, you know what I mean, where we're going like, you know that thing we go, I like that guy or I trust that guy? We do that with politicians. We do it with everybody. Or we go, I don't like that guy and that guy rubs me the wrong way.
Something
Like,
about him.
I don't know. Is there something with comedians that is...
It's not just comedians. It's all art. It's all product. It's everything.
Right.
We're a dumb species.
Right.
We're a dumb species, and we like to be told what's hip and cool.
Do you think calling your audience dumb constantly is hurting your chance to
dumb
get
species.
into the medium-sized tent?
Well, listen. I would be in the smaller tent, but my audience.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get you
isn't
into
dumb.
the medium tent.
Okay, ask me the question again. I'm sorry. Back that up. We're going to erase that.
You're right.
Mark
We're dumb.
that. Mark that to delete.
You're
Go ahead.
dumb.
Ask that
We
question.
should never listen. I was.
No. What was
I
the
was
question?
sitting.
Allow me to answer the
You
question
answer
again.
the question. You answer.
No.
I said, do you think calling your audience dumb
No,
repeatedly
before
is
that.
what's
Before
not
that.
letting
We're
you-
deleting that whole thing to save
I'm
my
saying,
career.
I was sitting in LAX 3 days ago listening to Maneater being pumped into where the luggage carousel was, and I was like, why? Why do we know this song? Why do we have to hear this song? And I realized because we're dumb. We're dumb. Every time you hear a Paula
But do you
Abdul
think
song,
it's
you go,
smart
we're
to call
dumb.
all the Maneater fans dumb? I mean, do you think?
I think he
I
stands
can't
behind
help it. I have intellectual honesty. I'm the buddy guy of podcasting.
But then why am I being admonished for being truthful? And listen, when I was in high school, there was a girl. I'm not going to say her name.
Say her name.
I thought you almost said it because it's not
Sarah.
Okay,
All right.
there was a girl.
Now, Sarah Smiles a fine song. Go ahead.
Everybody said this girl's hot. I'm like, she's not hot, but the word got around that she was hot. All of a sudden, she became the hot girl, and I was the
Yes.
only one going, hold on a second.
Yes.
She's not hot.
Screaming.
Is anybody
in the
else?
hallway.
And by the way,
Worst prom date ever.
Every reunion has verified my early observation. So that's what I'm saying is that we become sort of like we're very herdish. We're told this is like, how many times are you told this is the hot restaurant?
No, look.
You're told this is the hot
no
restaurant.
further than
Correct.
Pete Davidson. Look no further than Pete
Is
Davidson.
he here? I don't even see him.
I was screaming when he was banging Ariana Grande, and then she broke his heart. I'm like, no, chicks are dumb. He'll get a bunch of hotties wait in line because someone announced he's dating this hottie.
Yeah.
Now he gets to fuck all the other hotties.
Right.
There's nothing good about Pete Davidson. There's nothing attractive about him. There's nothing talented about him. There's nothing anything about him that would make you happy as a father if he came home but this is how we work. Yes, everyone announces they're hot. Everyone announces, I like Maneater. And now we're there.
So perhaps you agree with me that we're
do.
dumb.
We're dumb.
Thank you.
But
you know the story I'm telling now about I had to buy a pillowcase protectors, these things that go over it's in between the Gina, please, you're a pillow expert. What goes between the pillow and the pillowcase? There's a thing with a zipper.
Yeah, it's a protector.
It's for black people who put hair relaxer on before they go to bed. It's for guys with jerry curls.
Okay, well, I thought I needed them.
It's like a sham.
I bought very expensive pillows, okay? So someone said, you got to get these things. So I go on Amazon. This should take 3 minutes, right? I'll order the first one, the Amazon choice, 3 stars. I go, what could the pillow protector have done so wrong to upset the consumer? Let's go to the 1-star reviews. Let's go look. 5 people in a row. The first 5 had this observation. Just so you know, this doesn't come with a pillow. And the people saw the pillow in the picture, and they go, it's got to have it must have a pillow.
It's a great deal.
Right. Oh, you mean the cup holder from WeatherTech doesn't come with an SUV?
What?
This is an outrage.
I bought the car in the commercial. There was a whole family.
Where's the family?
Where's the family?
The chick was hot.
Yeah.
They pulled into a garage.
I'm all alone.
Yeah. What about the house?
Land? We are dumb.
We're dumb.
How many times you go to a restaurant? This is the hot restaurant. The restaurant next door is empty. It's just as good.
Yeah.
But people are told they want to be seen there. So comedy is fashionable.
I get it, but then there's Seinfeld and guys like that who are good, and there are many good guys out there doing it.
Seinfeld's great. Seinfeld plus Larry David is genius, and it's going to make you $1 billion.
Yep.
Well, to that point, I have a half-baked theory. What do you guys think about this? It has almost nothing to do with the material. Think about the Motown era. Like people connected with those bands and those artists. Lieber and Stoller are writing all their all the white guys are writing their songs. Think about like Bob Hope and all those guys who had like joke writers back in the day. The audience, of course, they laughed, but they were connecting with the performer.
The showman.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it has almost the material could be in any number of performers' mouths.
I'll put it to you this way: whether it's like thinking you like Maneater or liking a bad comedian, the audience isn't sophisticated enough to really be connoisseurs of the material. You know, it's that sort of, can you tell the difference between a $9 bottle of wine and a $900 bottle of wine? Not me, not most people. So just the fact that they're unable to absorb the nuances of it suggests that there's a rhythm, there's a body language, there's a size, there's a look, there's a cadence, there's a jaw structure,
It's also changed in this sense. Comedy is casted now. We're looking for someone to fill. There are times I'm like, hey, can I jump on this show? And they go, I have too many white guys.
Right.
That's what's going on.
Right.
So if the NBA recruited the same way comedy does, it'd be the worst game of basketball you ever saw.
Sure. Oh, if they did it the way sitcoms or any corporate America does, like you'd have 3 chicks up there, two dudes transitioning, 4 Jews. I mean, it'd be a mess. It'd be the least competitive sport on the planet. Yeah. But that's the way it works. I mean, that's the way show business works completely and utterly now. Can you guys even find, like I was looking at the Unicorn or whatever, new sitcom.
Yeah.
There's
again, what a hacky word, unicorn. It really is. Now everyone's talking about unicorns. I'm just saying, like,
it's the steroids of animals.
Have you seen the show, Orny?
Have you
I
guys,
hated it.
Have you guys seen a major, and then there's the other one, oh God, what's the Pittsburgh comedian with the heavy set guy? I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Pittsburgh.
He's been kicking around for a million years. The big guy.
Penny Clark.
No.
Pepitone?
No. He's on a new sitcom.
Michael Richards?
With
Heavy set.
he played the cop on the sitcom.
Kevin James?
Oh,
He's the new Kevin
Reginald
James.
Bill Johnson?
He's the poor man's Kevin James. You guys will know him in a second. He's in a new sitcom where it's called something. He's dating a black woman. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
is it mixed-ish?
No, it's.
We're never going to get there.
Well, look, when we say his name, Orny's going to go, oh yeah, that guy.
I'm going to go watch. Just get the name because I'll. This is not going.
Not Billy Gardell.
Billy Gardell.
Oh, the guy from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the fat guy from Pittsburgh. Why wouldn't it be?
He's on a new show where he dates a black woman.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you watch the
There
thing.
you go.
I'm saying, has anyone seen in the last 5 years a commercial for a chain restaurant like Olive Garden or something, where a couple was going out to eat, where there wasn't a black couple and a white couple, or a mixed couple and a whatever.
It's not possible.
Brian, you're not a racist. When's the last time you and Christy went out with a black couple to a chain restaurant?
Oh boy, you mean like the next booth over?
In your booth.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying, it is now a law that you must have that. And it's like when you see any new sitcom, so it's the white couple, black couple, and then there's a unicorn, like in the middle.
But this has been going on. I used to do a joke. I don't even know if you could say it now, but I used to say, you see these commercials, there's a black guy, a white guy, and an Asian guy sitting on a couch. I go, that never happens. Even if there was a black guy, a white guy, and an Asian guy watching the commercial, they go, no way.
Right. That's exactly right. All right, let me hit, let's see.
We got to keep going. This is
good stuff.
We're on fire today.
Well, we're going to do the news.
Do you want to hear about my ladders?
Yeah, hold on one second.
No, I wrote like blue collar type material to impress you.
Oh wow!
Because I know.
All right, hold on. We're talking about A-frame ladders.
There you go.
Okay.
What do you call the ones that you got to go like this? It's like
adjustable sliding ones, the ones that
right.
pop
So
up.
I bought my first ladder. Yeah, I'm running material now.
Okay, you bought your first ladder.
You're a contractor, man.
Yeah.
I mean, way to just denude me of all enthusiasm and confidence.
Well, speaking of ladder, can I get back to the former? Castrol Edge. Thank you very much. At Adam Carolla Show with your hashtag Castrol Challenge. You ask me questions, and it's brought to you by Castrol Edge. Formulated with fluid titanium technology, reduces friction, maximizes engine performance 3 times.
Protect your tings.
3 times stronger against viscosity breakdown, leading full synthetic. You got a question, Max Zapata?
Then I bought an 8-foot ladder.
Hold on.
Now, the difference between an 8-foot ladder and a 6-foot ladder, Adam, ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, at Wills the Beast 1 on Twitter wants to know hashtag Castrol Challenge. Hey, Adam, whatever happened to your old limo?
I bought a limo when I was broke. I went in with it with my buddy Donnie. We bought an old Cadillac limousine. There's you can go to adamcarolla.com and see a picture of it. You also can see the bed of my Mazda pickup truck with a couple of tools hanging out of the back of it where the picture was taken. It was an Elvis style limousine. And from something the Beatles would travel around in the 60s, it didn't work worth a damn in the 80s when we got it, but we got it and decided it would be good for road trips. And we used to pile people in it and go on road trips. One time even, I went on a date and I had Donnie dress up as a chauffeur and chauffeur us around on a date. So that was our old limo.
Like some kind of wonderful.
I don't know what.
Why is your driver smoking pot?
Whatever.
Why are the house windows blacked out like it's a crack house or something?
I don't even know whatever happened to the limousine. At some point, the limousine I think just got towed away.
And I love how whoever took the picture didn't even crop the truck out of it, like didn't go in front of it.
There wasn't a lot of cropping back then, but the picture is a bunch of dudes, and it's in front of a rented house where Ray lived.
It was clearly sponsored by the Coca-Cola Company.
Well, the Coca-Cola sign someone just hung up on the front of the of the house. Yeah, really.
Added value.
Came with that.
Curb appeal.
Yeah.
The only thing that this whole picture is an entire mess, but somehow that hedge it's cut perfectly.
It's a good-looking hedge, and I realize, Max Pat, if you pull in on me, I'm wearing my cami pants that I used to wear as a painter. I was a house painter. And I am wearing pants that I wore thousands of times that were covered in paint, and I also see the back of my
that guy
holding a beer. I got my boots on, and that's back when I was painting, and I must have been doing carpentry because the back of the car had a saw gauge, had a saw cut straight edge thing on the back of it, like clamps that you could mess around with. Anyway.
What kind of ladders were you using? Were you?
So tell me about your ladders, Orny.
Well, it doesn't work now that we've had 40 minutes in between the setup and what would be the punchline. You can see it the Late Show.
We'll suspend our disbelief.
Are there still tickets?
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks to Castrol Edge. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and do the news with Gina and Orny Adams.
Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking viral, all those crazy Trump tweets. Give me news with Gina Grad. Trouble in the Middle East. Celebrity drunk meltdowns. Need news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, former Today host Matt Lauer has fired back at an allegation in Ronan Farrow's new book called Catch and Kill: Lies, Spies, and Conspiracy to Protect Predators. So in the book, NBC staffer Brooke Nevels says Lauer sodomized her against her will in his hotel room during the Winter Olympics in Sochi in 2014. Lauer admits that there was some extramarital goings on, but insists it was consensual. He writes in an open letter, quote, "There was absolutely nothing aggressive about the encounter. Brooke did not do or say anything to object." However, Brooke Nevels said she was too drunk to fend him off. She cried during the entire event. Reports also say Nevels' coworker Meredith Vieira was the one who encouraged her to come forward, and that Nevels and Lauer allegedly did have other sexual encounters after this incident. The book is, I think it's up now. Very, very soon.
Sodomy means a few different things, but normally means one thing.
I think you know what I'm putting down.
Well, he said it in a statement.
He did.
Exactly.
He leaned over her and said, "Do you like?"
In the ass?
Yeah.
Really?
And he answered the door in his boxers and a T-shirt. And she went to his room twice. The first time was to retrieve her credentials because he snatched them and took them with him just to get her to lure her upstairs. And then they all got super drunk, and then she ended up back with him upstairs. And I guess that's when things got a little aggressive.
Yeah, it's always bad when your argument is, "Whoa, we fucked after I raped you."
Yeah, come on.
Get that drunk.
Yeah.
Please don't.
So, Jesus Christ, it's everything's a mess. Good, we don't need Matt Lauer. He's gone. Fine. The part where he had the lock on his door, I was fine with that. I like that.
The button
I like
from
that
the
idea.
inside?
No problem with that. seems cool to me. It doesn't scream
Super
rape
villain.
to me. It just screams I got too many interns bothering me. Or
No,
could.
Oh, you think
but
it was
it
keeping
locks
people out?
from the inside.
You think it was keeping people out?
It locks
Oh, it
people
kept
in.
people in?
Yes.
Ew,
He had like
sorry.
a secret button under his desk.
Well,
that kept
all I
you
heard is he
in.
had a lock on his door and he had a button that locked it.
Because
But
you think like a sane person.
I guess I do. I guess I think of the office as half raped.
What?
Not half empty.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Oh.
the whole time I ever heard about a lock on his door and a secret button to unlock it, I thought he was talking about people walking in on
this
him.
is
Quite
why-
the opposite.
Gina,
This is him keeping people in there?
inside.
Gina, this is why you have to explain this, because people are stupid. They're just
That's right.
stupid.
That's what I'm learning
Well,
today.
no, I thought he was sodomizing an intern and needed the door locked.
No, that was at the
Which would
Sochi
also-
Olympics.
Yeah,
so
which
his
would also be fair.
segment producer couldn't just walk in to the middle of it.
Hence why he had the lock under his desk where only he could lock or unlock. That
Yeah, like
door
a
was
s-
shut from both sides.
Like a silent alarm.
Right. But look, I don't want to give the devil his due here, but
There's no new.
no, but I'm assuming I was assuming he locked his door so he wouldn't be discovered while he was having sex, not so
That might
people
be-
couldn't escape.
That might be a different
That's
button.
what we call an ancillary benefit.
But eventually you both have to eat, right? Like, now we're going to get out eventually,
Yeah, when
right?
he's finished.
As a contractor, how well do you have to know the person? Like, I want to put the rape button underneath the
Good
desk.
question.
Yeah.
Who installed that?
No, install it. What is it? Open the door? Well, let's
Yeah,
have the option
I've
that
done it a few times
Yeah.
where I've said,
turn it into a safe room.
what do you
know
want
he
me to do?
Yeah.
I'd like a rape room. What room? Safe room.
said? Yeah.
What
She said
what,
ra-
yeah. What was you hear?
I heard rape room.
No. Safe room. But why would on earth would I want a room for raping?
I heard, well, also, you want a drain in the floor, which is weird because I don't feel like you need that in a safe room.
What if I'm in that safe room for some time?
Well, the cops are going to show up eventually, right? It's not like that
Why, what-
movie
what-
with
what-
Jodie Foster,
The
is
cops
it?
are showing up? What do they know?
No. I'm saying
Oh.
I'm saying you asked, you want a drain in the floor, and you called it a rape room. So that's all I'm
If
saying.
I did, which I don't think I did, that was a slip of the tongue.
Okay. Now, also,
Safe room.
the use of crushed velvet to me doesn't really have any part in a safe room.
What? I
per se.
can't be comfortable in my safe room?
Well, yeah, but on
Alone?
Naugahyde,
With
you know,
consenting adults?
you're probably going to be with your kid cowering. You
Why would I
know?
rip my kid?
Did you say rape again?
No. I want to keep my kids safe.
You would be with your child in the safe room, the floor drain, and the use of crushed velvet, I think, would be the last thing on your mind.
Listen, are you going to install this rape button or not?
All right, and as far as your request from last week where you wanted that chair from Star 80.
Oh, yeah, is that on the way?
First off, I don't know if the actual chair exists. I know you wanted me to mock you up one.
Knockoff is fine. The actual chair is probably collectible.
Yeah, I don't, I'm Mormon, right?
I did not know that, actually.
I don't feel comfortable making an Adirondack chair with wrist cuffs built in.
You can subcontract that.
Okay, and also as far as the wicker basket that you wanted me to hang from the chain,
right?
Why does it need a hole in the bottom of it? You didn't quite explain that one.
Why are you asking so many questions?
Let's see.
I'm so lost. I just realized I'm not really good at this podcasting if we're not talking about me. I kind of suck. I didn't add anything.
I was playing Orny Adam.
All right, at the
what
risk,
do you think of Matt Lauer?
At the risk of going even further down the naive trail with the lock on the door and the Matt Lauer, do we know he was locking people in?
Look at your screen.
Lauer's button would close the door and lock from the inside, but that's still just locked.
So people on the outside can't come in, but it would lock the inside lock.
Yeah, but I am saying it's to keep people from coming in, not from people from getting out.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Wait, no,
that's what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
That's not what the report was. The report, I gotta Google me right. I get that that's what you're reading right now, but I thought the story when this first came out was that it was a way to keep people locked in his office.
I feel like locked from the inside, and making air quotes means inside, like from the desk.
Well,
not inside the door.
No, because other execs had it too, and it was a way for them to not have to get up and close their door and lock it, so people and they could have their privacy.
I gotta Google me.
Let me explain something.
If the other execs had it, why was it a story?
Huh?
No.
Right.
No. He's locking his office, having sex with interns, but people can't get in and discover him.
That's right.
Locking, going full Pirates of the Caribbean, where you're like chasing the chick around your desk.
The wench.
Yeah.
I feel like if she ever made it out, she'd be out of breath and screaming at the top of her lungs. The thing about the electronic lock, let me drill down on it a little bit here. A deadbolt or a barrel bolt or something, it's like that you have to do from the inside. The buzz-in, like electronic one, you could get buzzed in or buzzed out depending on how they design it. You know what I mean? It doesn't... Anyway, he'll be missed.
There's a whole article in the Washington Post. How did Matt Lauer's famous desk button work?
All right.
But I'm still reading.
We'll drill down on it. So, Ronan Farrow...
Oh, my God.
Like, who else is called out in this book?
Is he like a eunuch who just gets a report on sexuality as a non-participant? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's like,
above it all.
I don't have sex with people, so I'm going to report on everybody.
I got no horse in this race.
I have no sexual friends. I'm built like a Ken doll.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he wants to do sexually. Do you?
No idea. He's very fluid looking.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'd have to be pristine to write books like this.
Oh, my God.
There can't be anything,
You cannot have one date gone wrong in your background and then pen this book, right?
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. So I don't feel like he's ever had sex, which is good.
Good for him.
Doesn't have the safe room.
Right.
All right, sorry, I'm still trying to read this.
Say rape room.
What'd you hear?
So, first of all, when I saw this, I thought it was burying the lead a little because I didn't even know that this was possible. I would have done it, and so would you. Californians wishing to purchase an earlier appointment with the DMV will no longer be able to buy their way to the front of the line under a law that Gavin Newsom just signed. I didn't know that was a thing. The proposal aims to crack down on companies that charge a fee to help someone book a DMV appointment, and it's a service that the state offers for quote unquote for free, but you never get one. So in Sacramento, customers looking for an appointment may not be able to find one until next year, and we're having the same problem. And so trying to get a DMV appointment in California is so difficult that businesses like a company called YoGov offers people DMV appointments that you'll get an appointment between 3 and 4 weeks for $25. And just to be clear, because I was listening to a thing about it on the radio, it's not like they're buying up all the appointments and then, scalping them. You're literally paying for somebody to go on and click day by day, hour by hour, trying to get you an appointment.
Kind of StubHubby, the world's worst.
You can always just sit outside, and I did that.
I did it 4
and you
hours.
meet people. It's fun. It's not bad.
It was over 4 hours.
Don't you guys do the third-party passport thing? You don't go to the actual government building, right? Like, there's a company that charges you $100, and they'll do all the passport shit for you.
I
For the
can't.
real ID?
I'm saying this sounds similar to what
I can't remember.
everyone does for passports.
I'm just saying, I think you can judge a state by its DMV, and we're getting a failure because it's just it's a basic requirement that all states have, right? And it's not like, well, these guys have better buildings or access to better this or better that. It's just everyone has a DMV, and ours is a piece of shit, and it's run. Our DMV is basically run how California's run, like shit and into the ground. Like, it's not a coincidence that we have a huge homeless population and typhoid breaking out and a DMV that doesn't work. It wouldn't be like, oh, these guys have a pristine...
Nobody's DMV works.
Their DMV runs like, well...
There's no state... Have you ever been to a state where they're like, we love our DMV?
Nobody loves the DMV like nobody loves gas station food, but some is better than others. I'm saying... Ours, if you did ours doesn't function. I couldn't get an appointment at an LA DMV.
Right.
And
you're not available till
and I'm a
next year.
famous. Oh,
you're on the Man Show.
Oh, you bet I threw Jimmy Kimmel's name around.
You better believe it.
What'd that get you? Bub kiss.
No, so I'm just saying, I don't think we run anything right here, and the DMV is sort of a metaphor for us not running anything. There's a reason why our school systems suck and our DMV sucks. Like, everything we run, we just run poorly and shabbily. Yes.
And that website's from the beginning of time. That DMV site.
I didn't know we were allowed to talk about Kimmel. Are you going to play his club in Vegas?
We did.
You did? Okay, great.
Well, we did a show,
Great.
yeah.
I did.
Great. You enjoyed it, right?
Yeah. Well, we opened it, or we did a soft opening.
It was before the big launch.
Yeah, before the big launch. Yes. Sorry, go ahead, Gina Gray.
Well, more than 800,000 customers in Northern California could be in the dark these days. Pacific Electric and Gas has begun shutting down power lines to prevent forest fires amid high winds.
How is PG&E still in business?
Oh, wait for it.
They blew up the city.
The cutoff started just after midnight in the counties surrounding Sacramento, will continue throughout today, even affecting people in the Bay Area, including Marin County, one of the top 5 wealthiest counties in the country, and they're just sitting in the dark. Down trunk lines have been blamed for numerous forest fires, including the 2017 Camp Fire. And this could end up affecting up to 2 million people, including those of us in LA. They're talking about Malibu now. They're talking about other counties.
Can we, I don't know where Elon Musk is, but can we start generating power and storing it in our own homes? This notion of like, there's this place on the outskirts of town and it burns coal all day and turns turbines, and then they go up these power lines and then they string these high voltage lines all across the land, and then it connects into your roof.
It's archaic.
At the very least.
It's no different than it was 100 years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you have solar?
I have some solar in my house, but the reality is it's really expensive. They have these sort of battery walls now where you can collect, but I mean, it's all way out of range price-wise for everybody.
My house is 100% solar.
Wow.
It is.
So I just got my first bill and I made money because I give back to the grid.
Orny Bagley Jr.
Made money, everybody.
Amazing.
Yeah. How hot did I just get?
Do you have a storage system?
I don't, but you can get a $10,000 battery from Elon Musk.
Right, and I think Panasonic or somebody makes one that's better, according to people I've talked to. I can't remember if it's Panasonic or some company like that. They make a wall. But the reality is it's 2020. It would seem that this notion of having solar panels on the roof, or way to collect energy, and then the way to store the energy and then reuse the energy, seems eminently doable. We were on the moon 44 years ago. Why have we not figured this one out?
Well, and at the very least, I mean, that would get us to, that would be very 2022 of us. Can we at least bury the power lines? Wouldn't that eliminate the problem?
I can tell you why. People are dumb.
Oh, yeah, I have heard something about that.
Yeah. No, is there a law that new builds need to have solar panels? Like, that's the direction we should go in.
I agree. The problem is we just and all the stuff where they go, the city's doing a rebate, it's always expired.
Yes.
It's never can do it. There's always this discussion about it. It's not incentivized. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if the city sort of put their money where their mouth is, or the state put their money where their mouth is. All you fuckers always talking about the Green New Deal and everything else, and went, look, for people who pay a shitload in taxes, I would call myself one of them. For those who pay shitloads in taxes, we shall let you outfit your business with solar or outfit your home with solar, and that money can come out of the shitload of taxes that you pay. If we're sincere about really wanting to get businesses and if we really wanted this notion of more people off the grid or running off solar or renewables or whatever, it wouldn't be we don't push it, we don't have brakes, and we don't have rebates.
Well, what if they did something where they installed it, the city, and then you paid each month what you were going to pay anyway? And
yeah,
that
or
offset,
something.
For 5 years. I don't know what the.
I think at least in California, I think the power companies kind of mobbed up, and I think there's been some bad stories about some skimming and some bad stuff, and I think it's basically you think about. The DMV is horrible because there's no competition. I can't go across the street to the Acme DMV and give them my money. So everyone is at their worst when there's no competition. We're in control of your power. Think about how bad. I mean, there's been some scandals and some situations, and I don't know. But anyway, it's 2020. Could we have our battery wall and our windmill on top of our house? All right, let me hit Castro Awards here real fast. You want a chance to win a trip to visit me in Vegas? Head to your local AutoZone. Be entered automatically with the purchase of Castrol. Pick up 5 quarts of Castrol Edge motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $33.99. Use your AutoZone rewards and be automatically entered. And it'll be 3 days and 2 nights in Vegas in November. I'll be out there for SEMA. Right, Dawson?
No purchase necessary to enter to win. Open to residents of the 50 United States, District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. Must be 18 years or older. Sweepstakes valid September 24th through October 21st. Void where prohibited. See your local AutoZone store for more details.
Sounds like somebody's been drinking. A little slurring going on there today. Yep.
So, Brian, I know you and Christy felt terrible about how you kind of feel like you got scammed a little with your tickets.
Kind of.
You're in good company.
Oh, great.
Happens to the best of us, especially when the best of us are Alec Baldwin. I don't know if you saw this story, but Alec Baldwin says he fell for a scam with the Statue of Liberty tour, prompting New York City's mayor to announce expanded enforcement efforts against tour operators that mislead the tourists. So here's what happened. He shared his experience on Instagram on Sunday. He says he and his wife Hilaria, quote, 2 sharp, savvy New Yorkers, bought $40 tickets for a boat tour of the Statue of Liberty for his family. Great. But instead of embarking on a ferry ride right there in New York, they were told they had to board a shuttle bus and head out to New Jersey, and that's where it would begin. Baldwin said it wasn't until after paying that they read the tickets, which said, "See New York from the water," and indicated the Tours R Us boat actually departs from Liberty State Park, New Jersey, which lies across the Hudson River. He says no one ever mentioned this, whatever expletive New Jersey problem, and this is a scam, and everybody falls for it. It's not just you.
Got to stay away from the R Us stores.
Especially when the R's backwards.
And ones that end with and such. Stay away from the candles and such.
But the ambience
and such. Yeah, stay away from that.
Right.
Well, I like the idea that he is doing such a pedestrian thing.
Yeah. Wanted to get out there with a family, take a little tour.
Be a tourist in your own city.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the New England Patriots moved on from Antonio Brown due to off-field concerns after he was with the team for less than 2 weeks. But the star wide receiver believes it would be a smart business decision for Bill Belichick to bring him back. So Brown was answering some fan questions on an Instagram Live thing, and the topic of the Patriots came up, and this is what he had to say.
Hope you guys having a beautiful day. Yeah, you guys follow the Patriots, tell them call me. They still got to pay me, so might as well let me earn it. XFL never. That's not even in the question. King.
So it goes without saying.
If he were smart, he'd be doing those messages like, I'm gonna wish that I'm pleading straight to Robert Kraft. If you could just reach out and reach around, we could have a happy ending here.
Wow.
Okay?
I think it's helpless chances.
Now I'm in Florida at a strip mall right now. You know where to find me.
You know where that is.
But if you could just reach out, be kind enough to reach around, we could have a happy ending to this story.
That's real good.
Nice tip.
Orchids of Asia, the address is, well, you know.
It does go without saying that Robert Kraft disagrees, and Brown is going after his guaranteed money with both the Patriots and the Raiders. He's suing, and there is some belief that the Pats will eventually have to pay him. However, according to a great site I found, LarryBrownSports.com, Kraft would probably rather hold on to the money and make Brown sort of chase it through the court system. He's not going to give it to him. He's not going to rehire him.
Do we ever figure out why he was let go? Was it rape allegations?
Yeah, there's pretty serious allegations from a trainer and then some other people.
And then he was taunting them over Twitter.
Yeah.
I hear his locker locked from the inside.
Yeah.
Keep people in.
Shove her in there.
That's right.
I just want you to know that all locks lock, like if it's a deadbolt, it's going to lock from the inside and the outside.
Right.
Yeah, it's a misleading way to say it.
It's misleading, yes.
No, what people also need to know, like I think they're probably illegal, but if you have a deadbolt, they have ones that are keyed on both sides.
What do you mean?
There's no twist.
Oh, okay.
They're key. There's a key. Takes a key on both sides of the deadbolt.
Yeah.
And the reason you'd have that versus the thumb turn, it's great for burglars because when you leave town, they can't take your TV out the front door.
Interesting.
It's bad for fires and special needs kids during fires,
Why
especially
special needs kids.
Almost all kids.
Yeah.
I feel like the ones that are the sharper cookies will figure out the window. But either way, the ones with the wind-up beanies get stuck there. But
you know,
can, if you're thinking about security, get the double-keyed deadbolt. Leave the key in the inside. You use it like a thumb turn. When you go to Maui for a week, pull the key out, take it with you. That way,
that's a good tip.
Somebody can't get the big screen TV through the front door. At least the neighbor's going to see them crawling out the window or whatever it is.
Yeah, great tip.
Don't you think they would just kick the door open at that point?
Well, it makes a lot of noise. Like you're drawing focus. You're also seeing a busted out door jam. Like whoever's across the street, the old lady across the street can't see you, hear you, whatever. Just it's an impediment.
Do you have a Ring doorbell?
No, I don't.
These are it's hysterical. I've got Ring doorbells.
I have one.
Right. So do you get the alerts?
All the time.
Every single day, people will post, my package was stolen, my house was broken into.
Right.
Like you can tattletale, which is
Right.
great.
Oh, that's good.
But what you notice is I have cameras all over my property. These people don't care. They walk up to the door, they look at the Ring doorbell, the face is right there, and then they break in.
Yeah.
Like nobody can, and then they go sleep on La Brea.
No, I didn't get the Ring doorbell because I was going to buy one online, and then I found out it didn't come with a house. I was outraged. I was like, whose entry hall is this?
1-star Ring, 1 star.
Jesus, you pay $129, you don't even get a house?
It's in every commercial. It's attached to the goddamn thing.
Full disclosure, Arlo is a sponsor. Arlo doorbells.
All right.
We're killing it today, guys.
We're
this is
killing
really
it.
this is going to go down as one of our best podcasts.
Yes,
definitely
one
as
of
a
our
group.
best.
Definitely.
Get the calendar. Let's rebook now.
All
Orny
right.
Adams.
I'm going to tell you, get Simply Safe. That's what you should
That's
do.
a good one.
Forget about
Got
the
it.
Ring doorbell. Get a Simply Safe alarm system. SimplySafe.com/Adams got everything you want in it. All right, Gina, let's do one more.
All right, you got it. Oh, this one I've been waiting for. What's the name of the show? Oh, Hot Ones. You did Hot Ones, yes? That's with the crazy Scoville scale wings and the...
Yes, I was on Hot Ones, and I was up on the power rankings for a while. I don't know. If once in a while, people send me tweets like, you're in the top 8 or something.
DJ Khaled knocked you off.
But the real treasure of Hot Ones is DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
That's the greatest.
Didn't you say-
People should look that one up.
Let this be a lesson to my fans. Just because I gave up didn't mean I quit.
It's the greatest. Yeah, Sean Evans, who's a fan of mine, and I guess I was an inspiration to him, according to Max Zapata during some interview.
Yeah, he had like a Newsweek interview. He said you and Jimmy. If
Nice.
he wouldn't be where he is without you guys.
I think he might.
Well,
But
a
anyway.
Cincinnati pizzeria has a pizza that's so hot you need to sign a waiver if you're going to try it. The Fiery Death Pizza.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. Is that like in the 50s, like we're doing a scary movie in Scarorama? There will be nurses stationed at the aisles, but these were just homeless chicks in nursing outfits.
Right.
Like, come on, this is a promoter
Gimmick.
thing, right?
I don't know. This seems pretty hot. It's the hottest pizza in the world, they call it, according to Mikey's Late Night Slice. The pizzeria will force you to sign a waiver before buying it. It's made from fresh ghost, scorpion, and reaper peppers, along with pepper pizza sauce and red hot hate sausage. There's also a contest to go along with
Matt
it.
Lauer called his dick.
People are stupid. I'm sorry. People are stupid.
Don't bother going to
This-
that door. It's locked.
You can't just buy a regular pizza and put your own hot. I mean, we're just dumb. We're dumb species.
Yeah. Oh, but wait. There's a contest.
Where
of
is it
course.
on the Scoville scale?
Oh God!
Oh.
Look at that. It would. Who know? I mean, it's some of the hottest peppers. They're all combined. It's Reaper, scorpion,
the
and
peppers
ghost.
themselves will be on the scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to figure that out.
So
But anyway.
the contest is the participants must eat 3 slices of this and a Reaper pepper and sit for 5 minutes with no food or drink. But wait, it's totally worth it because if you can do it, you get a $100 gift card to come back to the pizza place. And a shirt.
You know who really deserves the accolades in this? Not the guys who polish off the 3 pizzas, but they should have to perform oral on their gal right after that, and she is
Why
the
does she have to be
champion.
punished?
She's the champion.
They're gonna
So who can take the most? Who can take the most?
Yeah, I'm gonna
that's
tap out.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Eating the pizza is one thing. Going down there after polishing off 3 of those,
It's like
and
a third-degree burn.
No shot of buttermilk. You got to go right down.
How did you go?
I would watch that competition.
How did you?
Don't ask.
She's the real hero.
Have you done this before? Have you hot sauce into oral sex?
No. Yes, as a youth, like everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
Growing up in North Hollywood. No, I just thought the real winner of this contest, not the winner, but
No.
the intestinal
Yeah.
fortitude,
Right.
the toughest
Right.
person in the room would be if
lady
you
friend.
polished off the 3, no shot of beer or even tap where you go right down on your lady friend until she orgasms. Whoever orgasms first, that's the real winner. Send it in. I'll tell them they can have that idea.
Okay. You hear that Mike's late night slice?
Yeah.
What about the guy that cleans the bathroom over there at the pizza place?
Wow, that's gotta. That's
I'll clean you out.
That's gotta. He
There's
should
a
get.
fire suit.
Yeah, he should at least get a participation trophy.
Radioactive.
Carolina Reapers. How many? What you're looking at?
2.2 million on the Scoville scale.
2.2. What on Hot Ones? What's their top one?
The Last Dab has a Scoville rating of 2 million.
Oh, so it's hotter than that.
Yeah.
All right, so DJ Khaled, stay out of that pizza part. Now, I know you love loading up on carbs, but not these. All right, should we bring it home?
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Dad, can I finish a goddamn story?
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Last but not least, Geico. Everyone's got the to-do list. How about you save hundreds of dollars on your car insurance? You don't have to go anywhere. Just go to geico.com. 15 minutes, you could be saving 15% or more on your auto insurance. Take that extra money and get yourself some hot peppers and enjoy that on your pizza. Go to geico.com. 15 minutes, you could be saving 15% or more on your auto insurance. Sarasota, by the way, Orny's going to be at McCurdy's Comedy Theater. That's November 8th through the 10th. That's the Sarasota date. You should go to his website, ornyadams.com, and find out all the dates this season Funny Pro is going to. I've seen him on stage. He's hilarious. The Laugh Factory, the Improv in Addison, Texas, Gotham coming up in New York City. Just go to his website, ornyadams.com, find out all the dates. For me, I'm going to be at Salt Lake City at Wise Guys, October 25th and 26th, doing stand-up, a couple of shows early, a couple of shows late as well. So go to amcroll.com for all our stuff and check out Crank Yankers Wednesdays on Comedy Central. And we got Santa Monica coming up, comedians of the Adam Carolla Show. I'm going to be performing. Larry Miller's going to be there. Fitzdog's going to be there. Jeff Cesario, Brian, Dawson. We're all going to be there. Santa Monica, that's Dudes Brewing Co. this Saturday, October 12th. So, till next time, it's Adam Carolla for Orny Adams and Gina Grad and Paul Bryan saying mahalo.
Sounds like somebody's been drinking.
Stick around. Today's episode of Good Sports with Dave Damashek and Adam Carolla is coming up next. Follow the Adam Carolla Show on Twitter at Adam Carolla Show. Follow Ace on Twitter at Adam Carolla. Leave us a voicemail at 888-634-1744 and get your tickets for everything, including the World Championship of Guacamole, at adamcarolla.com.